I just had the weirdest dream. I dreamt that I was the Nexo Lord, and after defeating the final boss, all the Nexomon are gonna go extinct. Oh. Welcome to part 2 of my Nexomon journey. While still waiting for more news of Nexomon 3, I decided, you know what? I want to play Nexomon Extinction now! I really liked the first game, so that alone was enough to convince me to immediately get into the next one. Here's your spoiler warning, because here's what happened when I played Nexomon Extinction. "1,000 years have passed since we took down Omnicron, and the legends of our deeds have forever changed the world. We start out as an orphan, chosen to become a member of the guild and protect the world from tyrants. Whatever that is. I'm late for my first day. I grab some toast and run like a little anime girl on my way to get my first Nexomon. Miss Amelie and the mentor have tasked us to look for a Nexomon to catch in the forest. I'm sure nothing bad will come from the— oh, good lord. Is that a freaking meteor? It's headed this way! Feel like someone is inside my head. Dina? Is that you? I haven't seen you in 1,000 years. She stops time and hands us a bunch of Nexomon to choose from. And once again, the choices are a good boy, a blue and white bird, a green triceratops, Okami, a headless guy, the cat from FGO, Gecko, puppet from FNAF, and that one monster from Monster Hunter. I pick up Gekoko and name him Mosh. With you by my side, nothing can beat us. And we're dead. And we hide in an underground bunker. A resting place for the previous protagonist's ghost, who patches us up and teaches us how the new catching system works. There are multiple ways to increase our chances to catch Nexomon, like feeding them, using the right trap, weakening them, and— what the heck is this? Why do I have to do a quick time event for this? We head out, and this miner is boasting about this super awesome pickaxe. I'd be a fool not to buy it. We report back to our superiors, and they tell us about the dragon, who's looking for the tyrant to beat it up. Dina then appears and tells us to keep everything a secret. Don't worry, Dina. We are tasked now with getting a license in the guild's HQ, along with our fellow orphans, Nora the Nerd and Red Hot Ross. But before that, let's explore a bit. Whoa, this place is pretty snazzy now. Palmea Beach has upped this game past 1,000 years. Let's see if I can find some new team members. I don't want to deal with having only 2 at the start like before. Let's see here. Oh wow, you're so cute! I am so bad at this. I will name you Marina. Okay, what's next over here? Sana? Is that you? Get over here, you. And lastly, over in this area— whoa, a mega rare! I'd be a fool not to catch it. Welcome to the team, Bloom. Heading over to the city, we hear about the Drake Isles, a place where dragons, much like the one that we fought, usually live. I want a dragon too. I make a beeline over to the airship and drop on over. This place reminds me a lot of a real life place. Wandering around the colorful patches of grass, I believe I have found my perfect dragon. It wouldn't be a Yangbumo team without a slippery little fella. Nice crown. I'll name you Prongo, like Bongo, but more regal. I still suck at the capturing minigame. After getting a decent team, I head on over to a Tamer's Guild and meet up with my friends. The sassy admin points us to our first client. Kamek? Videl over here doesn't trust us yet. We just have to prove her wrong. We both make our way to the Outlands where we get ambushed by— well, Vidal handles the bad guys herself. Can I get in on the action, lady? We reach the frozen lake, where we start slipping and sliding our way until finally we find the gems that Vidal wanted to mine. And the ice breaks. We follow her only to discover that she was frozen. So we gotta get out of here. Hello ma'am, can we help you? Holy moly, is that Skarner? Alright guys, it's time to battle. She's already at half HP. What's she gonna do? Oh, after losing over and over again, the game decides to lower the HP just a smidge so that I can finally beat her. Nah, this game thinks I'm a baby. I'm gonna get my revenge, Atlanta. We are saved by Edward, one of the guild's top dogs, as he was also hunting down Atlanta. She unfortunately skedaddles, and we're escorted back to the guild. We'll make it up to you someday, Videl. I guess it's time to finish my team before anything else. We head south to this spooky little path as we stumble into the Immortal Citadel. I wanted to get a ghost-type Nexomon, as it and psychic types are new ones introduced in this game. I hop into this grass with a broken tower and find the last member of my team, Meru, the Follicers. We head back to the orphanage because it's been attacked by the masked people from before. Apparently, they've been looking for me all this time. We beat them up and help out Nora and Ross save the other hostages as well. Doing so allows Mosh to evolve into Wingman, cause he's yellow now, get it? Our mentor gives us the talk. The world right now is pretty bad because the tyrants, a breed of Nexomon, have been waging war with each other to become the next king of monsters. Though wicked and evil, one tyrant will be good and deserving to be the next king, a tyrant of light. Our mentor presents us with an ancient artifact left behind by our parents. We must figure out the truth and find this legendary Nexomon to bring peace to this world. We also train up a bit and Krongo sprouts some legs, while Sana gets another moon. First things first, we must look for the witch in the Immortal Citadel, so that she can tell us more about this artifact. On our way back there, we stumble upon this super sussy tree that wants us to catch some Nexomon for him. Who am I to say no? I nab some mons for him, and he gives me free stuff. Looking forward to working you again, you goofy tree. Once we're back at the Citadel, we find the witch's mansion, and Alfred, is that you? Dang, it's been so long. And you're a ghost. We seek counsel from Eliza, and she tells us to beat up 3 monsters that are plaguing the city. A Follicers in the south, a Karkaros in the east, and the Monkapau in the west. Hold on, Ron? The merchant from the first game thanks us by giving us a vault key to Spencer's fortune. All the battles before were pretty easy thanks to Krongo being super effective against all the ghosts. After reporting back to Eliza, we are attacked by Gene Simmons? We battle it out. His team is full of ghost and psychic Nexomon, so Krongo will once again have a field day. A bunch of Psy bombs later, and he's down to his Imburion. Now that Krongo has low health, it's time to test out his new move. Krongo uses Psy Field, and I win the 50-50. The enemy is paralyzed, and I finish him off with one last Psy bomb. It's time to kiss these bad guys goodbye. Eliza tells us that the artifact is actually an egg, and we have to head to an elemental shrine to hatch our tyrant of light. We wander on the outskirts of the Citadel and find a vault with Spencer's fortune. Nice! Hearing about a shrine in Ignitia, we set out to the desert area to check it out. Meru evolves so she can throw hands at enemies. We run into Miss Amelie, angered by the news that a tyrant is wreaking havoc in the volcanic town. We're on it, ma'am. We join the team of tamers down below as a dragon ambushes us. I thought dragons didn't attack humans. When we arrive at the city, we encounter the tyrant there and the guy from Street Fighter. He strikes us a deal to take down Atlanta and Nivalis. Alright, if I have to. Oh yeah, just follow the frozen cave and set a volcano. And there they are. I'm gonna get my revenge. Now that Wingman is evolved, he can now go toe-to-toe with Atlanta's other water types. After Wingman gets frozen, I now turn to my other team members to weaken and finish Nivalis. Revenge was never sweeter. Now that you're here, you aren't getting away. They got away. Thinking of a way to defeat Jin, we head over to the Fire Elemental Shrine and... oh, I get what's gonna happen. Alright Fenrir, how's it going buddy? Can you hatch this egg for me? He agrees, only if I manage to beat him. Krongo gets burnt up by Fenrir's attacks, so I send in Bloom to... she also gets burnt. Don't worry, Bloom, I believe that one day you'll be the GOAT. A fully evolved Meru deals a bunch of damage before getting burnt. Marina fails 3 freezes in a row. Okay, yeah, I see how it is. Wingman pummels Fenrir until he's low, and then Sana manages to absorb Fenrir's power to boost her own attack and defeats Fenrir. That was amazing, Sana. Now, after gaining Fenrir's elemental power, nothing happens to the egg. What's going on here? Turns out we need more power than expected, so we gotta visit the other shrines too, I guess. Now, back to the task at hand. Jin. He tries to shield himself with flames, but we whisk them away with Fenrir's power. Surprised, he attacks us and we face off. We beat up his team slowly but surely. I make sure to have enough members to deal with his tyrant. Unfortunately, Wingman goes down in the process. I summon Bloom to make Multimer's attacks weaker and a super punch to deal decent damage. After she goes down, Meru uses her giant fists to punch Multimer into a pulp. After Jin becomes a sore loser, Lydia, a tyrant tamer who's with the guild, beats him up and tells us to accompany her to the Drake Isles. We also get promoted to Silver. Sweet! We also meet this guy who's rambling on about dragons and tags along on our trip to the Drake Isles. We also get jumped by the Power Rangers again? Dang. Good thing Lydia beats them up for us. Alright Lydia, what's going on? Is that a dragon? I thought they were loyal to you. It was then Xander's, one of the Grandmasters, takes things into his own hands. We grab a dragon lure from an old guy, and now it's time for dragon hunting. Right before the fight, Sana finally completes her evolution and enters her final form. This will definitely be a fierce battle. This guy is soloing a dragon. Once the dragon is weak enough, I guess it's our turn to finish the job. The fight was fairly easy, with all our team members pitching in decent damage, especially Meru and Sana, who after gained a massive power boost. Combined with Fenrir's firepower, easily defeats the dragon. Xander bids us farewell as he takes the dragon to Miss Amelie to find out more about the dragons. Lydia gives us a trial to see if we are worthy of the truth. We had to... it's her. Nadine awaits us before picking a fight to grab her remaining power. Marina's first to tackle Nadine with a few frostbites before going down. I guess it's time to show off my new and improved Bloom. Alright, oh no. What I meant to say was, after Krongo paralyzes Nadine, Sana dealt a great deal of damage to Nadine using her Rock Knight Fist. And now, my new and improved Wingman, who is now called Dizzy, one critical electric force, finishes the job. Don't worry Bloom, you'll be the GOAT someday. With Nadine's power in tow, we can now jump high. Anyways, it was now Lydia's turn to test ourselves. Alright, now Bloom finally gets to shine by taking out some of her Nexomon. When her Titan Eurus comes out, he puts up a decent fight even. Great job Bloom. Dizzy electrocutes the Titan, and that was the end of it. He takes us to the secret laboratory, and we find out that the dragons were genetically made by Miss Amelie to hunt down the tyrants. But since that doesn't seem to work, he's now bent on making the ultimate Nexomon. Amelie ambushes us in the next room while Ross and Nora are tricked into fighting us. I feel bad. For them, they got absolutely destroyed. It was then Amelie unleashed Vados, the artificial tyrant, and blasts us out of the Drake Isles. As we fell to our doom, Nadine activates our wind power to shield ourselves from the fall. We land in the middle of nowhere when a familiar looking volleyball player drags us to safety. To thank the people of the frozen tundra for taking care of us, we helped them by retrieving some bombs and blowing up the path to the ancient lab where the previous Nexolord's mentor was. It was then we see this giant storage device. Dina comes up and tells us that we need to open the container to save the world. But then Xanders overhears our conversation and discovers that Dina was also a child of the King of Monsters. So, they beat each other up. We fight alongside Dina. Dizzy does most of the heavy lifting against Vander's Nexomon. It's Dina's turn now. You can do it, Dina! No! She falls at the hands of Xander. I'll never forget everything you've done for me, Dina. You know, she was always like a mother to me. Somehow, we open the container and... Atlas? How are you doing? Adding Atlas onto our crew, we can now find a way to save the world. We meet up with Edward and the other guildfolk as we storm the Nexo Lord's castle for clues on how to destroy Vados. Inside one of the chambers... Wait, is that Atlanta? That's bad news. We start fighting. Bloom finally redeems herself and starts sweeping Atlanta's team, one after another, including the Titan. With the power of water all around us, Marina is able to fully develop into a beautiful mermaid. In the final chamber, where the resurrection machine once was, we are ambushed in En's castle by both a fiery white dragon and an electrifying black dragon. Wait a minute. Sana and Volta start wrestling, trading rocks and thunderbolts. When Sana defenses crumble, Bloom steps in again to put that dragon in its place. Well done, Bloom. I knew you were the GOAT for this playthrough. Merida gives us the power of letting it go, as thanks for freeing the castle. Next stop, according to our mentor, is the underwater city of Cadium. Amelie is hiding Vados over there and we need to beat her up. Oh wow, that's a pretty cool submarine. Thalassophobia obtained. Once we arrive at the city, we greet the people... Yeah, I can't understand keyboard smash, unfortunately. You there. You seem like a fellow who can read keyboard smash. The professor joins us because he's bored. And now we look for the president in charge of this place. Wait, Zeta? Why are you the president? We participate in his Mad Max tournament and get him to give us his powers. We are now on our way to brute force through Amelie's maze. When we confront her, she summons a sim. We are now up against the electric tyrant, Bolzen. After Bloom and Sana take care of it, she activates Plan B. She relocates Vados in a rocket to get to the overworld. We are so screwed now. We now get back to the surface using Zeta's submarine and we get captured. Of course we do. Back in jail we go. Of course, the only way to break out of this is using brute force. Yeah, that works too. That was easy. Edward pardons us because he is just the GOAT and we are now a free man. It was then our mentor summons us up on the observatory and we hear it directly, not only from him, but the other children of Omicron as well. I knew he looked familiar. They revealed to me that my egg is a dud, but for real though, my mother is Dina. So basically, I'm the heir to the king of monsters. And my mom has been bamboozling everyone from the very beginning. You know, that actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. With that truth bomb out of the way, we now hear that a tyrant is nearby and we gotta stop him. So we just casually pull out a Todoroki on her and I forgot we're in the desert. Oopsie. We face off against Celine and her tyrant, Petram. This'll be easy. Sana takes care of her electric and fire types while Bloom takes care of the rest. I think I have two GOATs on my team this time, guys. Once Petram is our opponent now, Marina splashes him with water, and Bloom once again mops the floor with him. Man, what was I feeding you, Bloom? After the battle, Vados shows us his might by absolutely destroying the tyrant. Holy moly. Nah, chat, we ain't ready for this. The rest of my friends understandably ditch us. It was just me and Atlas now. It was then our mentor gives us an idea. We have to use Atlas's radar, find all the tyrants, and recruit them to our side to beat Vados. Absolute cinema. We receive the power of Earth from our mentor, Grunda. When we get to the Drake Isles, we put Atlas to work. Once he's able to track down all the tyrants, it's just a matter of time before we... No! Vados obliterates all of the remaining tyrants. When the dust settles, Lydia loses all hope. It was then the secret tyrant of nature contacts us through his mind and urges us to locate him in the hidden village to the north of Param City. We go through this spooky cave. After using earthbending, we destroy the boulder in our way and we get some lore dumps from the Phineas and Ferb treehouse. Turns out, Groot over here is our mama's plan B. He basically told Coco to set up different waypoints so that we can revive tyrants without being detected. Sweet. We also find out that Hilda has been keeping the village a secret using her powers. Nice to see you again. Before we revive the tyrants, I have to see if I'm worthy of becoming the next queen of monsters. So, I get some help. There she is, the ghost of Christmas past herself, the previous Nexolord. It's Meru against whatever that thing is. When the enemy gets scorched too much, he switches to Devet. Meru is able to send her to the spirit world along with a Monkapow. She also does decent damage to the Rupnucks before she has to retreat. Rongo telepathically disintegrates the plant thing after a few side bombs. We trade blows and switches until we hit a stalemate when I send out Sana to finish off the Rapnucks. The healing and rock wall strat is doing pretty good. Dizzy proves that he is the better starter by finishing the enemy's last 2 Nexomon. Thank you, Sensei. I now have the confidence I need for this undertaking. It was now time to revive the tyrants. First is the fire one. We face off, Sana powers up with Blaze Mineral and completely solos most of the boss's HP. Once Sana was tuckered out, Marina splashes the rest of the boss. That's one revival. Electric one is next. Why is the atmosphere sus? Zeta is beaten up as we enter the tree's chamber with dozens of souls in it. There's only one being I know that has something to do with sussy souls. Ghost Freak is back and then he's angrier than ever. Dizzy easily zaps Dareen and Sana throws a bunch of rocks at Titan. And now Ziegler's out of options. He tries to beat me up, but luckily, Eliza and Hilda absolutely nukes him. We then revive Bolzen, that's 2 out of 5. We head into the Nexolord's tower, where we might find Navalis' tree. We stalk Atlanta, and we both get ambushed by the Nexolord's cult. I tell them to get lost, and I proceed to get lost myself. Finally, I reach the tree and revive Navalis. The cult leader finally sees the truth and proceeds to simp. With 2 more tyrants left to revive, we visit Ursus' tree next and we get ambushed by Xander's. But as usual, Sana KOs a lot of his team members, making it an easy knockdown. When he wouldn't give up, Nadine yeets him off the Drake Isles. Yeah, he'll be okay. With Urus up and running, it was now 4 out of 5. Now we gotta head to the very last one. That's not good. The guild apparently has taken the tree and is planning to take it back with them, along with Nora and Ross. Alright, that's it. The Tyrian Hunters, attack! Using the Hunter sigil I got from before, they now obey my every command. I tell them to fetch me the tree and that's a lot of damage, guys. You okay? Anyways, we're stopped by Celine because she doesn't want her tyrant to die again. How noble. Too bad, Missy. Bloom and Sana take care of her team now. With all 5 tyrants revived, there is only one thing left to do. Gather my allies and beat up Vados. Alright, here's the plan. We run him over. So what if he can fly? Then we just gotta run him over in the sky. And since the only way to get an airship is to become a Grandmaster, Ms. Admin, please make me a Grandmaster, please! She agrees on one condition, if we can beat her on a fight. Don't worry, ma'am, I have a goat with me. Meru easily beats the Orologicus and Tundrax by evading and casting Eternal Darkness. With Meru out of the count, we turn to our goat, Bloom, with her combination of Elemental Up, Natural Heal so she heals every turn, and Forest Energy. The last 4 Nexomon from the admin went down slowly but surely. Thanks, Bloom. With our new title in tow, we can now meet up with our allies. Up the guild tower we go. Sanders? Oh dude, I'm so sorry for tossing you off a cliff earlier. He takes his revenge by challenging us to a fight once again. Marina, Sana, Bloom, and Meru make Xanders open his eyes to girl power and absolutely gets destroyed. We head to the tippy top where the ghost of the previous Nexolord warns us for the fight. We come face to face with Edward, the last guild member that believed in me. Sorry to disappoint, sir. It was an equal match. Each Nexomon fell after the other. Dizzy beating Dominator, Lumere incinerating Bloom, so on and so forth. Luckily, Sana proves that she is one of my goats by taking over. Vados, knowing that my Nexomon were tired from the last two battles, starts to underestimate us. Hey Vados, what's big, blue, and is about to get hit by an airship? You fell for the oldest trick in the book. Once we get into the ship via teleportation by Eliza, we now face off against the artificial tyrant. 1024 HP, okay, no biggie. After Dizzy zaps him a bit, we now find out his biggest weakness. After a couple turns pass, he fires up. This guy can change types, and it'll be my key to victory. Dizzy stalls out the fire with his absolute barrier. When we feel the waves and the wind, it was time for Dizzy to unleash all of his voltage power. With his HP halved, Vados takes down Dizzy. Marina and Sana follow suit when Vados uses Dizzy's lightning against us. Sana keeps throwing planets on Vados until the game decides to snap us into a reality where all of us lost instead. That's no fair game. It was then the spirits of all Omnicron's children remind us that we're actually a Nexomon. This means only one thing. We can turn into a furry. I can see the family resemblance now actually. We proceed to beat up Vados with our psychic power. Until I remember Newton's fourth law of motion. What goes up must come down, or something like that. We crash into Nexomon Hell, and there we meet the misunderstood devil herself, Amelie. She challenges us to a fight one final time to protect her precious lab baby. With a team full of dragons and starter Nexomon, it was time to show her what a real team is like. After Meru gets rid of her Feliblango, it was a fierce battle of switching and counter-attacking. The next KO comes from Krongo, who brings down both Nusidal and Namansi with Psy-Bombs. Marina poisons Hynock and slowly kills it. Dizzy unfortunately loses to Drago after critical burn. It was a close call, but Marina gets the final hit on her Treasure, and Drago with her super fast whirlpools. Upon seeing her Crater's defeat, Vados powers up and evolves? Don't worry, my team is more than ready to beat him up. Wait, did he just recover all of his HP? As I was saying, my team can handle this. Oh no. After several tries, my team falls one by one until he finally wins. It's all over. The game is done. Vados will continue to destroy the world. It was then I remembered. Didn't I have a plan B all this time? The tyrants come to me and beat this sucker up. With the power of friendship, I too get to evolve into my final form. With the tyrants and I together, nothing can stop us now. Let's bring him down. Using the same gimmick as before, he starts to change type, but that doesn't matter anymore. I got the tyrants to counter any type he so pleases to choose. After switching and attacking him non-stop, with my knowledge of the type chart, I think it was necessary to defeat him using my final form for the final fury. A fitting end to my artificial adversary. And that's it. We're at the start of the cycle once again. With Vados gone, we'll keep running into stronger and stronger enemies. It was then I came up with the most brilliant idea. Let's mix some of my delicious DNA into his system. That way he'll be forever loyal to me instead. Yes, I like the sound of that. With Vados revived, he gets an existential crisis, and before we could even capture him, he flees into the unknown. With that done, you know what that means? Post-game! You know, I still can't believe Dina is dead. Wait a minute, that's it. It's time to revive our mom. But first we need to get back the resurrection machine blueprint so I can get her back. While rummaging through different areas, we bump into one of Ziegler's henchmen. Well, time to immortalize you inside his pyramid for all eternity. After struggling to once again do the quick time event, I proceed to mash buttons until You will never escape from this prison, Titan. After grabbing the blueprints from the Nexo Lord's tower, I head as fast as I can to the hidden village and use my resurrection the beam. And there she is, my mama. As a legendary primordial tyrant, I bet you'll be very hard to capture. Let's do this. You know how funny would it be if I just let's try one. How funny would it be? First try. Thank you for that 6%. Our next stop is the Laterian jail, where Amelie is. Listen, I'm about to go after your lab baby, and you can't do anything about it. After taunting Amelie, we now head inside the Nexo Lord's tower and comfort Vados as we try and get him into the ball. My team members fall one by one as he refuses to get inside the Nexo trap. Yeah, I knew this wasn't going to be easy. I even had to bring in my furry form to deal with him. What did I expect using the most basic Nexo trap to capture him? After a few more dozen tries, my team is almost dead. I have Marina take the lead to soak up any damage while I try to capture him one last time. With the power of button mashing, he finally gives in, and now we have Mew 3 on our side. After saying goodbye to our friends, we got a glimpse into the future, where we have been established as a proper Queen of Monsters, along with Vados, who apparently becomes our greatest ally. I can't wait to see what happens in the next game. First of all, I really love how the animation and models stepped up from the previous game. The Nexomon look more fluid, and the designs from the new ones and the redesigns from the old ones have really delighted this artist's heart. For the gameplay, mostly the same, except for the fact that they balance statuses now and deepen the capture mechanic. I for one did not enjoy the quick time event captures. Please get rid of it. Music is really good. Boss fights are challenging, but without really a proper strategy, you will have to use healing items eventually. All in all, I really like the sequel. The story is solid and the writing is still hilarious. I'm looking forward to the next game, whenever it releases. And with all of that said, thank you once again for watching.